Grim,
Yes?
when's the next Iron Brews due?
The 5th.
When's that?
Today.
Hello soldiers and scouts, and welcome back to another month's thoroughly well thought out and properly prepared episode of Iron Brews. This month's episode will be focusing entirely on one of the most important but most often overlooked aspects of home brewing, sterilization. Now, for all of you gentlemen out there currently covering your private parts, I'm not talking about that kind of sterilization. I'm talking about the sterilization of your fermentation vessels, be it demijohn or barrel. If you don't sterilize it, you're not going to get good alcohol. Okay then, for today's episode on sterilization, we're mainly going to be focusing on the glass demijohn. This is because any sterilization technique which can be used on a demijohn can be used on larger vessels such as a primary or secondary fermentation barrel, or smaller objects such as hydrometers, funnel or tubing, or any other kind of homebrew equipment you use. Now, a lot of you guys out there may have a demijohn at home. They might be sitting in the bottom of a cupboard, or alternatively, you may be using them as a piggy bank. Now, the important thing with demijohns is if they look clean, they're probably not. If they don't look clean, they're definitely not. Whatever you do before you brew, sterilise it. There are several ways of sterilising equipment, but the first thing you have to do is make sure that they are clean first. Now, the easiest way to make sure that something is clean is to wash it in hot, soapy water. But listen to me now, please. Never, ever pour boiling water into a glass vessel. You will end up with lots of pretty glass shards and -1 demijohn. The easiest way to do it is put a little bit of washing up liquid into your demijohn, run your tap until it's hot, and fill up and swirl round. You can also use one of these. It's a cranked bottle brush. These are designed to fit into your demijohn and allow you to clean the bottom, the sides and the top. If you do still have heavy staining in the bottle that you can't wash off, there is a very, very simple technique. Okay then, if your bottle is still heavily stained after you've washed it out, there's a very simple technique. First of all, you need a funnel, half a pint of malt vinegar, and your handy ramekin of rice. Now, what you do, you add your half a pint of malt vinegar into your demijohn. Malt vinegar is a very, very good and effective cleaning agent. What you then do, you add your ramekin of rice, about a hand or 2 handfuls, into your demijohn. Now, the way this works is the vinegar acts as a cleaning agent and the rice acts as a scourer. Put a bung into the top of your demijohn, swirl, turn upside down and swirl, and then leave to rest for 2 to 3 hours. When you've left it to rest, empty out the vinegar and rice, wash it out with washing up liquid and warm water again, and it should sparkle. Okay, while that is cleaning, let me tell you why sterilisation of your equipment is important. The reason that alcohol is alcoholic is because of this stuff, yeast. It's a kind of fungus. What it does is it feeds on the sugars in your alcohol. This then allows the alcohol to ferment. If you don't sterilise your equipment, you end up with all other kinds of bacteria and microorganisms within your alcohol. What this does is these then feed off the sugar rather than the yeast. You will not end up with alcohol. What you'll end up with is poisoning, dysentery, cholera, and a variety of other hideous, unnameable diseases. I'm pretty sure there's probably a website dedicated to them somewhere. Now, if you do search homebrew accidents on the internet, you will find several cases of hospitalisation and 1 or 2 cases of death. This is almost certainly always caused by improper sterilisation of equipment. Please sterilise things. Okay, there are several ways of sterilising your equipment. One of the main, most popular and most effective ways of doing it is using a product like this. This is VWP. It's a powder-based sterilising agent. You can get it online or from a local shop for about £4 to £5. Now the way this stuff works is you add 2 to 3 teaspoons of it to a gallon of warm water. This will give you a gallon of sterilising agent. Now you can use this to clean out your demijohns or to clean out fermentation buckets or barrels or any equipment you need to use. But if you wish to make a smaller amount of it, what you can also use is something like this. This is Sterident. This is a very, very easily available denture sterilising tablet. You add one of these to a glass or bowl of boiling water. While it does sterilise dentures, it also sterilises anything else you put in there, which is why it's perfect for making smaller amounts. If you wish to go for something a bit more professional, I can also recommend these. These are Campton tablets. You add 2 or 3 of these to a pint of water and that will give you exactly the same effect. Use these two if you want to do a small amount. This stuff if you want to go the whole hog. Another way of sterilisation, which I personally wouldn't advise, is bleach. A lot of people will tell you to use bleach because it is cheap and easily available. If you do want to go down that route, you add 60 millilitres of bleach to a gallon of water, put it into your demijohn or bucket and leave to clean and sterilise for about 3 hours. Now the issues with bleach is that A, if you do it improperly, you will leave hideous residue marks all around your demijohn or bucket. And also, if you don't rinse it out afterwards or any trace of residue is left, it will kill off the yeast in your homebrew, which means you won't end up with homebrew, you'll end up with 40 pints or a gallon of completely useless rubbish. And you'll have to start again. Now then, with the Campton tablets and the Sterident, it really is easy. Lid off, 1 tablet, let it bubble. Alternatively, if you wish to use the Campton tablets, lid off, 1, 2, 3. What I now have here is an incredibly potent sterilising agent. Okay, once you've made your sterilising solution, it's very easy to use. You can either pour it directly into your demijohn or your fermentation barrel, swirl around and leave to sit to sterilise. Or if you want to sterilise something like a hydrometer or tubing, funneling or an airlock, simply drop it in, make sure the entirety of it is sterilised inside and out, leave in there for 2 to 3 minutes, take out and leave to dry. It'll be fine to use then. Right, before I leave you guys for another month, let me give you a quick history lesson. In 1858, sewage and human waste was being pumped untreated into the Thames. This caused one of the largest cholera outbreaks there has ever been in Great Britain. Hundreds of thousands of people in London died. Dr. John Snow discovered in Broad Street in London there was one building where not a single employee became sick or died from cholera. This building was the Broad Street Brewery, where the employees only drunk beer. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you proof that beer is healthier for you than water. Go have a pint. Well, glad that's over. Thank God it's Friday.
It's Thursday.